Runerock Arena is a turn-based gladiator management game with tactical RPG combat mixed in. You manage a team, hiring gladiators, gearing them up, and then controlling them directly in grid-based battles. The goal is winning the league championship of Runerock, while your fighters build full careers, improve over time, and eventually retire. The game is made mostly by one developer, Seppo Soasa, under Arena Games, who created the original Arena series back in 1991. And he was also kind enough to sponsor this video, so thanks for your trust in my content. So the basic gameplay loop is recruit, gear up, scout, fight, and then handle the money. Recruiting works through a bidding system, so you're competing against rival teams for available gladiators, and the ones you actually want aren't guaranteed to end up on your roster if someone else outbids you, which of course can sting a bit when you miss out on a fighter you liked. You visit the shop for weapons, armor and spells for each fighter, and the mage has his own separate section for picking up spells. Now, before a match begins, you can scout the opposing team to see what you're up against, including the classes and general gear, so you can adjust who you bring and how you gear them. Then you set your formation, positioning your fighters before the battle even starts, and fight it out yourself, turn by turn on a grid. Afterward, you collect ticket revenue and a win bonus, if you did well. Then you pay your gladiators salaries out of that, and put whatever is left back into recruiting and gear. Every gladiator has individual stats, so they are not a generic copy of the class. There are, if I'm correct, 36 classes in the game, including stuff like the Minotaur, the Sorceress, the Stoneman, and the Barbarian, and each plays quite differently, but on top of class. Fighters have attributes like strength, dexterity, mana and health, separate skill ratings for melee weapons, ranged weapons, and spells, and smaller skills like dodge and magic resistance. Most stats improve as a gladiator keeps fighting and winning, so a somewhat shaky recruit can turn into one of your best fighters after enough matches. And honestly, this is where the game shines the most for me. With that many classes plus all these separate skill lines, building out a roster gives you a lot to actually think about. Your fighters don't feel interchangeable, which is very nice. Now, age also matters here, and I think it is genuinely one of the smarter ideas in a game. Gladiators get older and eventually get liberated from fighting, so you lose them from the roster. That of course stops you from building one dream team, and it means you're always thinking a step ahead about who's actually going to replace your star fighter. Their morale is tracked for every gladiator too, since losses affect it. Of course, in preparation the gear matters a lot. There's a dedicated weapons and armor shop, and weapon choice counts because melee and ranged skills are tracked separately. Magic works the same way, with each gladiator having their own spell skills and mana pool. A lot of squad building comes down to matching gear and spells to what a fighter is naturally good at, instead of handing everyone the strongest item you can afford. The fights themselves carry real risk too, since a fighter of yours who takes a bad beating can end up injured and unavailable for future matches for a decent while afterward. This forces you to rotate your roster. The stat and info screens during and after battles are solid, showing your fighter details, skills, and spells very clearly, enough that you always know what everything does. Your money mainly comes from ticket revenue and win bonuses, and it has to cover salaries, so recruiting is a financial decision as much as a tactical one. Beyond the single matches, there's a full league with standings and divisions. The overall goal stays the same throughout. Climb the divisions and win the league championship of Runerock. Visually, it's simple pixel art with the retro 2D look, closer to a classic management sim. Some people will love that throwback feel, but of course if you're expecting slick modern animation or cinematic combat, this isn't going to give you that. On the bright side, this helps keeping the requirements very light. So if you do indeed like old school turn-based tactics, mixed with long-term team management, and you enjoy that kind of game where you're constantly recruiting, upgrading and eventually replacing your own fighters, I think you'll get a lot out of this. It rewards patience and planning, more than fast action.